Good day, everyone. Today we are going to talk about project management, which is prepared by Super 4 or Group 4. The members are Ratna Devi Rajaratnam, Nagalingam, Saravanan Goendraju, and then Bharat Sivaraj. In this particular assignment, we are going to look into a digitalization project by Great Eastern Life Malaysia. The introduction. The life insurance industry is going through a massive digitalization process. The industry has been around for a very long time. Great Eastern Life Malaysia itself was started back in 1908, which is about 116 years ago. So we can imagine how much the company has gone through. Major world and national events such as World War I and II, the Malayan Emergency, Malaysia's independence in 1957, the many economic crises, and the recent COVID-19 pandemic, and many more. A company, be it in any industry, has to be ready to make a change and adapt to the changing environment, need and demands of the customers, and etc. Digitalization or digital transformation is when firms use digital technologies to create new or modify existing business models and processes, or to support the transformation of organizational structures, resources, or relationships with the internal and external factors. In this project, we will see the process in which the project manager in a life insurance company goes through from developing and planning an initial proposal for digitalization while forecasting delays by constraints, business case, and project scheduling, vendor management, managing the various stakeholders, and finally, implementation and performance management.
Hi, my name is Bharat. I'm part of Super 4, and as you saw in the introduction, as mentioned by our group mate, that we are looking at the five most frequently used services by customers or policyholders with regards to customer service that we want to incorporate in the customer portal. Moving forward, I will be talking about the point one, understanding foundational project management concepts. Because in project management in such insurance companies, insurance company, as you can see, is a very structured business. And companies are highly regulated, so the budgeting, at the same time the approvals, there are few parties are involved, so it takes very precise management to ensure that we get to the point where we can do it successfully within a certain time frame, and to ensuring that we meet all the objectives. The project scope, objectives, and success criteria is very important in the beginning stage itself, because how we start the program or the project is very important. So basically, the project scope, timeline, and costs have been has to be well defined as part of the business case, and the approval of all the key stakeholders, including board members, has to be obtained first. The business case would serve as the mandate for the project team as part of the project execution. So when you're looking at the financial part of it, what are the objectives we're looking at we're going to achieve by doing all this? So basically, the number one, we divide it into financial and non-financial objectives lah. So in financial part, we see the reduction of customer visiting branches and calling customer center by 60% within 1 year of deployment. Number two, increase in agents productivity by 35% within 1 year of deployment. What happens in 1 and 2 is that we see when it's a manual customer service done manually for this, the five things that we are changing, we are incorporating in our customer portal. Normally they have to come to the branch and at the same time meet the customer, so we need to have full-time customer staffs, customer officer staffs, and also agents also will be occupied with customers in dealing with all these things, so it reduces the time. Three, increasing the adoption of e-payment by 80%. As we know, banks have moved towards e-payment and digitalization. All the banks have their own apps and stuff, so we want to move this and reduce using of cash. Non-financial objectives will be for enhancing overall customer experience and self-service experience for customer, and two, increasing the net promoter score to 60% as per global standards for superior customer experience. Now we look at the key constraints that we will be facing with regards to project management of this the customer portal. Number one will be BNM, Bank Negara Malaysia's approval. Regulatory approval is mandatory for launch of the customer app. Ensure risk and compliance team is involved since project inception. And that is a must for us to work together with a few departments actually in developing this app. And so that the guidelines are adhered to and key action items and approval are tracked as part of the project. Alright, and okay, then the next one will be timeline management. The high level timeline estimation needs to be managed. The project methodology is adhered and any rebase of the timeline is assessed and ensure project steering committee is rightly informed of any timeline deviation, because as you know, the longer the timeline, the more the cost, and any business organization will want to minimize their budget on any certain projects and maximize the profit. So this is very crucial for a project manager to ensure that the projects are done within the time frame. And number three on constraints are vendor management. Vendors are selected vendors come with the right skill set and capability. This is very important because they must meet our objective, and a thorough vendor selection through RFP process to ensure the right vendor is selected to deliver the project on time and within the cost. I think through experience we can come with a couple of vendors, because vendors are externally appointed and it's very important we choose the right one. Project life cycle phases comprise of initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, deployment, closure and monitoring. So the project management time requires the project to move through certain life cycle to ensure the constraints, expectation and risk are managed diligently and on timely basis to ensure the success of the project. Project life, we look at the detailed part of the project life cycle in phases. Initiation, the project initiation through the business case and the expectation is very important to be understood first by the project manager and the whole team. This phase result in the project charter as the key deliverables and used for project kickoff. All the key members of the project team need to be aware of all this. 2. Planning. A detailed project plan is really created, including all the project activities and necessary dependencies, and with the estimation of each activity by the respective project team. 3. Execution. As soon as the plan is signed by all parties and resources have been mobilized, the execution phase commences. 4. Monitoring and controlling. At this stage, the project steering committee and weekly project as well as daily stand-up were enforced to ensure the project communication vehicle is operating smoothly. 5. Deployment. There was a clear deployment strategy for the customer portal, as this will be launched to customer in phases rather than one big rollout to ensure the stability of the portal and avoiding any major issues with the data presented in the portal. And 6. Closure and post-development warranty. This is a final project phase. Once the portal pilot phase has been signed off, the portal was launched to all customers, and the overall warranty phase of 3 months kicked in to ensure any issues from the customer or the agents were addressed prior to transitioning the portal to the local business team. Now we look at point number 2, developing strategic project selection and planning skills. Strategic direction is important for an organization for its long-term sustainability and ensure it remains competitive and relevant in the industry. Simply for Great Eastern Life Malaysia being a major player in the industry, it was vital to ensure the customer experience were the utmost priority, agents' priority can be uplifted. So the digital transformation has become the core for all insurance organizations for them to be able to operate in the most cost-effective manner while not jeopardizing customer experience at any cost. Alignment and strategic goals. I think this is a very crucial part in the beginning stage, because the project directly supports the organization mid-term to long-term vision of becoming the customer's choice insurer in the country by not only offering the best product but also tapping into the latest technology. As you know, the digital transformation has taken place in the life insurance industry for a couple of years now. So digital transformation, especially for customer transition, would help address customer frustration on the long waiting period. Today we are looking at the speed as WhatsApp. Those were the days when we were working with emails. Today people are going as fast as a WhatsApp message. So customers waiting point, or rather tolerance for waiting has been reduced. So this is very important for us to understand exactly the trend and demand of the customers of today. Smart objectives, the project's objectives are articulated using the SMART framework. Specific, develop and transform the top 5 transition to a paperless application through the introduction of new customer portal. Measurable reduction of customer visiting branches and calling customer center by 60% within 1 year of deployment. And also it increase productivity of agents by 35% within 1 year of deployment. Increase the adoption of e-payment by 80%. Achievable, developing a customer portal through an experienced vendor in the digital application that meets the defined internet insurance guidelines set by Bank Negara Malaysia. Relevant, these projects align with the vision of becoming the preferred insurer through digital transformation and exceptional customer service time bound. The project is completed within time frame plan of 12 months. Resource management, there was a clear resource management developed for the project through the phases, and the skill set selected for the project was also done in a meticulous manner to ensure there is the right synergy in the team to deliver on time and within the budget. So here are some of the parties or important personnel. Number one, the project manager, management of overall project management and stakeholder management. Scrum master, management of the team, specifically making sure the delivery is managed for every 2 weeks progress as committed. Technical lead, front end and back end, defines the technical standards and ensure overall architecture is aligned. UX designer creates a top-notch user interface and user design that aligns with the design thinking principles. Subject matter experts, operation experts that can define clear requirements for the assessment of the technical and UX experts. Project budget, the project budget was 1.2 million and distributed as per the following, which is development is 940,000 ringgit, customer adoption communication strategy 200,000, and for contingency 60,000 ringgit. Project schedule and planning. Project kickoff was necessary. The kickoff was necessary in this project as there were multiple parties involved as well as third party vendor. Requirement gathering. The requirement gathering phase was led by experienced business analysts within the project team as well as the vendor to ensure the requirements from the subject expertise were translated into a solution design. Design and prototyping, the overall UI, UX design and prototyping as well as integration were detailed out on this phase to ensure the transaction straight through processing capability is fully enabled. Development, the actual build was curated based on the earlier prototyping as well as the principles. Testing, there was SIT system integration test, UAT user acceptance test followed by the performance and penetration tests were conducted to ensure the stability of the platform. Pilot launch, 2 weeks were planned post the BNM approval to ensure we had clearance for full launch based on the stability of the platform, and full launch 1 month were catered for activities ranging from marketing and communication and strategy to make sure that is right adoption from customer and communication to agents. As you can see in the Gantt chart, which was used throughout this project, we have the whole schedule and planning as well as on the 1 year on a timeline of 1 year.
Hi, if we look at the leading stakeholder and team engagement on this issue, one of the most critical success factors for the project was the alignment between core project team members as well as the key stakeholders who were involved to steer the project direction. For GELM, this was one of the major digital transformation undertaken for customer to deliver a seamless customer portal. The agents too were involved in all the key discussion to ensure their suggestions and input are taken into considerations. As part of the design and analysis stage, we also created a few persona, a digital identifier to represent type of customer who will using the portal across various demographics to ensure the prototype includes all necessary design and principles. When we look at the stakeholder analysis in GLM, particularly this segment of digital transformation involves various parties who had extreme interest in making sure the project was a success. So it's crucial for project team to ensure the stakeholders are really engaged, kept up to date and align expectations throughout the project. These are the key stakeholders for the project. First is the EXCO and board members. They will be accountable in making sure the project has a viable business case to be translated into a project. And second is the IT, vendor and internal development teams. These are the teams who will core for the delivery of the project. And subject matter expert, operations and customer service teams involved in the project defines the overall operation, and agents and customers at every stage of the design prototyping. We engage a focus group for agents and customers, so their feedback is collected for the improvements and during the design and testing phases, for the use of during the design and testing phases. And also the last is the risk and compliance, to make sure it's all followed the regulatory standards. So when we look at the stakeholder communication plan, first it involves the project weekly meeting. So it's a project meeting between the project team to review the overall progress, plan for the week ahead, raise issues as well as focus areas which needs to be firmed up. Secondly is the bi-weekly meeting. This is a project meeting which includes the other support functions, department heads and all other departments, SMEs impacted by the change, to provide a project update, development outcome. Thirdly is the monthly steering committee. This is a formal meeting conducted to the project sponsor and EXCO members of the project status and areas for escalation for decision and steering. When it comes to team management and engagement, we will look into the RACI. This is a roles and responsibility matrix which clearly defines the role of each member against the key activities, with a mapping of who is R is responsible, A is accountable, C is consulted and I is informed for each of the project tasks, so that there is no ambiguity in the responsibilities. Second thing is the celebration. All project milestones were celebrated regardless of small or big. And comes in the collaboration tools. All the key project deliverables are posted in Microsoft Teams to manage communication and updates. Lastly, the engagement activities. The project manager have to ensure that monthly we have a team gathering and informal activity within the office, so that the team can have an informal chat, share their concern, ideas and feedback.
Hi everyone, this is Ratna from Super4. I will be talking on implementing risk, cost and performance monitoring. Risk management, there were clear risk, action and decision logs to ensure we track all these three components accordingly. This was crucial for a big project as these two with a vendor involvement. Risk management and its framework clearly highlighting the escalation processes and key aspects of successful project management. In order for the project to remain successful, it's vital to ensure the risks are managed well. All the necessary controls are adhered, given that it's even more crucial with financial services organizations. A structured approach to identify and mitigate risk were implemented for the project, and the risks were all tracked accordingly. As part of the risk monitoring, there will be a risk log throughout the project. So we'll be looking at the main 4 pointers under the risk management plan, which will be operational risk, which is to ensure the project has considered all the aspects of operations as part of the project and launch. Second will be the regulatory risk, To ensure the necessary guidelines from BNM and are adhered, and necessary report and filing is submitted for approval. The third one will be the strategic risk, to ensure this project is aligned to the company direction. And the fourth point will be technical risk, to ensure that the technology adapted for the project is also adhered to the IT risk management principles guidelines by Bank Negara Malaysia. Hi, so for the cost management plan, cost plays an important element for the project. The project manager is accountable to ensure there is no form of deviation from the estimated cost. There has to be a clear tracking of the budget breakdown to actual cost, and this has to be reported to the monthly steering committee for best practice and governance. For each of the budget breakdown, the respective project team members will do a monthly reporting of the actual cost spent. In this case, the huge budget comes under the development, which was the vendor budget. To have a cost control mechanism, we establish a breakdown, as I'll be mentioning in a while, for the vendor, that payments will be released upon successful delivery of each of the stage in percentage. So 5% goes to project kick-off, 10% for requirements gathering, design and prototyping will be 5%, development will be 40%, and 20% for testing, 10% for pilot launch, and 10% for full launch. So as you can see, development holds the highest budget, which is 40%. For the performance monitoring plan, as part of the business case development, there were clear targets set as part of the financial benefits of the project. These benefits would then translate into the benefits tracking mechanism by the respective business owner. In this case, the operations team. For more structured presentation of the financial benefits, the project team enabled a 12-month breakdown chart for the monthly tracking of the benefits highlighted, as I'm going to mention now. The first will be reduction of customer visiting branches and calling customer center by 60% within 1 year of deployment. The second one will be increase in agents' productivity by 35% within 1 year of deployment. And the third pointer will be increasing the adoption of e-payment by 80%.
In conclusion, successful project management for digitalization is critical to enabling GLM to adapt to the rapid pace of technological change. As businesses increasingly embrace digital transformation, the role of effective project management becomes even more pivotal in ensuring the digital initiatives are executed successfully. Key factors such as clear strategic alignment, agile methodologies, robust risk management, and effective stakeholder communications are fundamental to achieving desired outcomes. The integration of digital tools and technologies within the project management practices offers significant benefits, including enhanced collaboration, real-time tracking, and improved decision making. However, GLM must also recognize the challenges that come with digitalization, including resource constraints, organizational resistance, and the complexity of managing multifaceted digital projects. To ensure the success of digitalization initiatives, project managers must be equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge to navigate the complexities of technology implementation, team coordination, and change management. By fostering a culture of continuous learning, flexibility, and innovation, GLM can harness a full potential of digital transformation while minimizing the risk of failure. Ultimately, the success of digitalization projects hinges on the ability to manage both the technical and human elements effectively, creating an agile, forward-thinking organization that can thrive in an increasingly digital world.